the time. I want to just remind everybody, we'll give Jesus some time to tell the story. And if you'll mute yourself, we are going to be recording this, just FYI, for those who couldn't join us tonight. Jesus, welcome. Jesus and Kessler and I were with Jesus this time last year for just a couple of 3 days, very quick trip. And just wanted to see what was going on with the mission work projects there. And unfortunately, we could not be with him a couple of 3 weeks ago when we were scheduled to do that. But I did get to see him back in January when my family visited. And let me just ask the opening salvo, Jesus, before I turn it over to you. Has the world stopped shaking over in that part of the world, and has the island stopped shaking?
Well, sometimes we get a reminder.
All right, man, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
So to the southern part. Sorry?
Yeah, just go ahead. The southern part still shaking a little bit, tremors?
Yeah. 3 point something, 4 point something. So some pastors, it's just a reminder that still is shaking a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you and just want you to give us whatever is on your heart as far as some background information, the story of Iglesia Bautista de Metrópoli and the mission work and some of the things, partners that you've been in relationship with. And you just talk, and then we'll open it up for conversation and questions from our folks. But you tell the story, and the fact that we've been able to jump in and be a part of what's going on there has been fantastic for us. So I'll just let you talk.
Okay, thank you, Kevin, and thank you, everybody. I've been the pastor of Iglesia Bautista de Metrópolis for 18 years, so it has been 18 years ahead of the church. I know that you wrote what is our theme. Is entramos para adorar, salimos para servir. We enter to worship, we go out to serve. So that's what we constantly do. My bachelor's degree is a social worker, so I'm a social worker. So and then I finished my MDiv in the seminary in Puerto Rico. So I combine what is the practice, working with the communities, and obviously leading the church. So we're constantly outside in the community, working with our folks and our neighbors. So for almost 10, 11 years, we have been working also with different mission teams, partners that have come to Puerto Rico to help us in the process of rebuilding and working and helping different nonprofit organizations. We believe on not being the protagonist in everything. We know that if we join forces with different people and organizations, we can do the work. So what we do is try to connect with different organizations, churches that are willing to connect and do partners and with us and the different teams that we come with us, we try to work together to help. So in 2017, after Hurricane Maria, September 2017, it multiplied. We have been working with different mission teams. So after the Hurricane Maria, it began to multiply. Immediately after 2017, 2018, we began to have almost 25 teams that came. And then last year, almost 20, 25, 30 teams that came to help us in the process of rebuilding. So we keep on doing the work, helping churches and the community. So with the teams that come with us to work, we do some roof repairs, painting, going to different early nursing homes, special need homes, partner with families. So that's part of what we do. But we believe that it's not only what we do in the community, also what we can do with other people also. So we have people that come to Puerto Rico, but we as a church, we go to other different places to work Mexico, Dominican Republic. We have been working in New Orleans, also helping the rebuilding. So we're constantly serving, and that has given us the blessing of always having churches that partner with us and doing a lot of work. So that's part of what we do. I don't know if you know, Kevin, that during the virtual assembly of the CBF, we were recognized as one of the Mission Excellence Award this year. So it has been a blessing for us to be recognized with from other churches of what we do, our model that we're working on in Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm a little bit slow with my English because, you know, almost every week I had different teams coming. So, you know, my English was, I have been almost 100 days, just a little bit English. So, you know, my English is a little bit rusty, but I'm still, you know.
I feel your pain, brother, because my Spanish, well, it didn't exist to begin with. So, hey, man,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about, tell our folks a little bit. When we were there in January, of course, everybody was concerned. We'd gotten there and all the earthquakes were happening and the tremors and things of that nature. You all jumped right in immediately. You sent money. You had started collecting supplies and goods and things. Tell me a little bit about that story and where it is right now.
Yeah. So immediately, thanks for the experience that we have gained with working with different teams and in disaster response. So immediately we knew about what was happening in the southern part. A lot of folks, that's a beautiful thing about being family and partners. People like you guys and many other churches called Pastor Jesus, what we can do. So I said, if you can help us with some money, with that money, we went to help other churches and people from the south. One of the things that we did is that families in some, in at least in one church, they were sleeping in the parking lot because they were scared about the different. It was shaking. So this church that didn't have no showers, they were not prepared. They had people sleeping in their cars. So with the help of many other churches, we put some money and they built 4 showers. So people who were sleeping in that church could at least afford having a shower, not because they were so afraid. So that put that church in a position also of hosting different people from the community. We were talking about, and then came the coronavirus, of helping them building some classrooms so they can use them for different multi-purpose. So people of the community could use those classrooms also over there. And but that just was a big stop because right now the coronavirus. But yes, with the help, we rented some cargo vans. We filled those cargo vans, and we went through different churches that were in the southern part to take provisions, sleeping bags, tents, canned foods, and we organize in Puerto Rico. We have 115 Baptist American Baptist churches, so we help organize these churches to at least begin to help these different other churches that were affected. So we help them lead in that way and help in that process. Yet, like I said, Pastor, we have reports of that some areas are still shaking. It's not as big, but you know, some of the structures are weak. So a 4.1 or 4.2 can make any structure that is already weak to fall and to break. Almost 3 weeks ago, we helped a church purchase a tent because that church is a small church. They cannot meet right now inside the structure because it's already damaged. So we helped them purchase a tent so they begin to meet outside in the tent. First of all, because of the coronavirus, and second, because the structure is not safe for them to be there. So yeah, we're helping them and still seeing what else we can do with these different churches that are doing this wonderful job. We believe that we cannot do everything. So our motto is contact the church that knows the community, and we work with that pastor in that church. And then they began to distribute to the people who know. So that's the motto. We receive, we contact the church and the pastor, and from that moment on, that pastor who knows the community, he begins to help and distribute the provisions that we can get to them.
That's awesome, Jesus. This seems like the kind of the third strike or the third hit that y'all taken. First, there was the hurricane that did so much destruction and devastation. Then you've got the earthquakes, and now we've got the coronavirus that we're dealing with. My question would be to you, and this is, get out your crystal ball and make a prediction here. When things get back to somewhat normalcy and we're able to return and you're able to receive teams and things, there are obviously going to be some needs, and there are going to be some things that are going to be doable for us to assist with. How do you envision that working? Is it a similar process, Jesus? Is it going to be different? And I'm asking you to predict the future, but you know what I'm saying. What is this going to be something that you see has better networked you in Puerto Rico, or is it going to be something that's just drastically different?
The good thing about it is that we're constantly with our ear with the communities. And as I said, the motto is contacting the keys, the pastors who knows their communities. So when I have teams, I ask, and we had the conversation with the teams, what are your skills and what do you want to do? So I try to match the skills of the church with what we have. It's not always exactly what they want, but why try? We're still doing some roofing. We cannot have right now teams that come from the States because of the issues. So what we are doing is people from our church and other churches, we're getting together at least one per week or two, or every 2 weeks. We're still doing some roof repairs because there's still houses that after the hurricane are still in damage. So imagine we worked last week in a house that still had the blue tent. So imagine for that family, almost 3 years living in that conditions. So what we're doing right now is doing some roofing, and I expect that a lot of houses yet are still in needs to be some roofing. So it depends the skills. The blessing is having different organizations that we know for many years, and they know the work that we're doing, and also many churches that know what we're doing with different mission teams. That for us, it's just tell me what are your skills, what do you want to do, and we try to help. Some of the things that we do that is our part of our model is that when we have teams, we try to purchase, to sponsor local groceries, local restaurants, because it's a way of helping our economy. As you know, probably, have you read, our economy in Puerto Rico is not that good. So having teams coming also help us in many ways. But one of the ways is injecting the economy. So I try to bring teams, and we try to help our local pharmacies, supermarkets, restaurants, and it's a way also of helping the houses, the families, economy. It's a way of helping our people also.
And the question then becomes, why are all these why are all these white people in the community? And it gives you an opportunity to tell the story about others that are connecting and loving and sharing in different ways.
Yes, that's one of the questions that you met Eric. Eric has a land and field, a farm, small farm, and they were asking, how come in that area, how come there are so many white people coming over here? And it was a good moment for him to give testimony about God's provision. These folks are people who love our people, are coming to help, and they love God. And I have seen, and that's what we say, I've seen God's provision. And now it's a way for him open the door to testify about God's provision.
Yeah. Well, I want to be a good steward of your time, Jesus, and I don't have a clock in front of me, so Kessler's going to be my timekeeper. One quick question, and then I'll open it up for our folks, or one quick statement, and I'll open it up for questions from our folks. But to my family, to my church family here, I would just say, when we were networking and looking for partnership missions, it didn't take us long. In fact, it was Melissa Kessler who kind of found out through her connections with previous mission trips from Granite Court Baptist Church to be connected with Jesus. A few phone calls later, and then, as I said, we were there 1 year ago this particular week, and it was a kindred spirit, just in conversation, a missional heart. He gets it, he understands it, and you heard him talk about networking within the island, partnering with people, regardless of what their denomination is. It's all about their needs and sharing the love of Christ. And so it was an easy opportunity for us to invest in this wonderful church. And I've had the privilege of worshiping there 2 or 3 times, once with my own family, and just a warm and welcoming place. And this brother can sing. It's worth going just to see him lead in worship. He can preach, but he can even sing, and that's impressive.
You know, when the sermon is like this, I sing so I can praise, level up the sermon.
And when my singing is kind of like this, then I just preach for 2 or 3 hours. I want to open it up if anybody has a question. Kessler, can you facilitate this as I'm navigating? If you'll unmute yourself or give us a thumbs up or a hand raised or something, and if you want to ask a question of Jesus.
Yep. So Mary, if you'll go first.
It's good to meet you, Jesus. I was one of the people that was on the mission trip for June, and so it's good to meet you. I read where Puerto Rico was going to get their stimulus money, not from the IRS, but from, it just said the state authority. So I wondered if anybody's gotten a stimulus, or what's the status for the stimulus?
Yeah, we got the stimulus money. So yeah, they work with the federal, and it came here to the local, and yes, we got the stimulus money, the $1,200, and for locals, contractors, they get some money. So we have been blessed with that also. So yes, we got it.
Oh, good.
And that helps us a lot because, unemployment also, same in the States, but here it's even worse. So that helps us a lot.
Good, good.
Y'all are quiet tonight. Melissa. There you go.
Hey, sis, I was wondering how the children are doing. Do they have plans to go back to school? Do they have, what's going on with them as far as all this COVID stuff is concerned?
Yeah, they're still in the process of conversations. The challenge is, I know it's in the States, if children states or they do like a hybrid model, what's going to happen with the parents that they have to work? So that's the big issue that I know that also in the States, that's a conversation. So I don't have the answer, but I know that that's a conversation right now. And the thing is that sometimes they say they're all going to stay, but not all our children have computers. Imagine a parent doing the homework through the cell phone for 3 kids, trying to read the text in the cell phone. So that's a big challenge. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know.
Very true.
Any other question?
Oh, Greg's got one. Go ahead, Greg.
Jesus, with all the changes that COVID introduced this year, how have you guys had to adjust your plans and your goals for this year as compared to what all you were able to accomplish in the last few years with all the different churches coming in to help?
Yeah. Obviously, it has been also, let me see how I can say, having teams come help us, our church also, because it's a way of helping other people who cook, transportation. So it's a way of helping. So in that process, it's not getting there. But we have also learned the importance of blessing. God blessed us to bless others. So that's why we don't have teams. We are going to have our own local team to do some rebuilding some houses. Also, our church is sponsoring one local church. We call it like a mission in Puerto Rico, where I have two families from our church who are the pastors in that small church. So we are helping them in the process. And for many years, I have been kind of the supervising pastor of a church that we have in Dominican Republic. So in this process of COVID, God has done so wonderful things that those people from Dominican Republic have stick with us. We have blessed them with a Zoom, and in our services, they're with us. In our leaders' meetings, they're with us. And they present us what were their needs. This church is in Puerto Plata. Puerto Plata is near the ocean, the beach. So they depend exclusively from tourism. So many of those church members from that church in Dominican Republic, they're going through difficult times. So we have been helping them in this process. We raise $2,000 and we send them $2,000 to help them in the process to buy some food. And we raise $2,000 more so they can purchase a van, so they can go to the different locations to help the children. So God has moved us to help these different churches. We are online, our church services are online. Thank God we have a good team of, we call it cross media, audio visual. So I record my sermons. So we have done a wonderful job online. So yet we are online doing our Sundays service. On Mondays, we have our praying service through the phone. It's a conference call where everybody can call to the same number, and we're on our phone. Wednesdays in the morning at 10 a.m. I have a Bible study, a closed group, Bible study group. Then on Wednesday evenings, the worship team, they go through Instagram and they have a worship. So we try to connect with people who are in Instagram. And then on Thursdays, I have a Facebook Bible study, more evangelistic, so people can, it's more not that deep, so people can follow and you know, follow a simple Bible study. So that's what we're doing right now in this process.
That's awesome.
And working with a disaster response team of the American Baptist churches, having some talks and preparing because we are in the hurricane season. So, you know, today we had a meeting of just trying to be aware of everything of the different churches to be prepared, because we never know what can happen.
Don't say it out loud, Jesus.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Well, Jesus, I think one of the biggest disappointments, we were so excited about a team of almost 40 of us that were going to be there. And but those plans are just on hold. They've not gone away. I know that Melissa Fox and her crew were supposed to be heading to Switzerland this year. So everything's just kind of been a wash, but 2020 will be behind us, and we will look forward perhaps next year and
We're just
and trying to,
postponing.
yes, just postponing until we can get there and help in any way. In the meantime, because of the technology that we have, you and I talked briefly about this. Let's continue the conversation through Zoom, Facebook, however we can help each other. I think that is one opportunity for our folks to get to know not only you, but your wonderful church family, and continue the conversation and partnership in that way until we can meet again in person. Are there any other questions or comments, folks?
Oh, Mary's got her hand up. Yep.
Just real quick, what today is your greatest need as of today? What do you see as your greatest need?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I have to say that we have been blessed. We have been blessed. And folks from our church have seen the beautiful and great thing about giving. We have been working nonstop. But yes, there's some church struggling because before the coronavirus, our church already had the system of online giving, and that put us in a position that people switch to help us in the process. Some churches has to start on that, so that gives us an opportunity of the continuity of being consistent. Our biggest need probably is just praying for us. We have connected with this wonderful church in Dominican Republic, so pray for them also. They don't have no stimulus check. They don't have any funds. They don't have anything, so it's a way of helping them also. And yeah, just praying for us and to see how God lead us in this process.
Jesus, can you give us specifically the name of the church that we can be praying specifically for them in the DR?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it right here in the chat. Let me write it right here. Right there.
Perfect.
That's the church. And our church, our mission church in Puerto Rico. So you can. I don't know, here in Puerto Rico, there's a model in the American Baptist churches where the mission church is a small church that's in the process to be a church. So to become a church, you have to be like 40,000 in the budget and 40 people as church members. So we have sponsored in this church, we have 2 church members, families who are helping, and we are in the process of helping them. And it's called Misión Bautista Cristo Restaura in Levittown. That's the other. This is in Puerto Rico. That's that church that we're helping here in Puerto Rico. Where we are the like the mother church. I don't know if you know that concept of.
Yeah.
So that's a church that we're planting here in Puerto Rico also.
So a church start from the mother church. I got it. Sounds good. All right. Last chance. Anybody have a question or comment?
I know it's
Jesus,
awkward. I know it's awkward, you know, seeing my name, you're talking to Jesus. I know it's awkward, you know, like people, you know, they're talking to Jesus. Jesus is from Puerto Rico.
Brother, it's good to see your face and your smile. Give our regards to Betsy and the kids. Know that we're praying for you. And as we go through these interesting days, again, keep in touch and let us know how we can partner further. And I'll be in touch. And let's continue the conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. And we're partners. So whatever you need from us also, we'll be praying for you guys. And you have family here in Puerto Rico.
And we hope to visit you soon, and you come and see us anytime.
I'm going to the beach tomorrow.
Nice.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Jesus. Good
Thanks,
night.
Jesus.
Yeah, God bless.
Gracias.
Hey, folks, it's good to see each of you tonight. We look forward to our times of being